Hello, and welcome to you. Some cedar for you. It is quite the insane world out there, isn't it? So, hello. I am Shoshana, and I am a spiritual consultant, energy reader, scanner, diagnoser. I read the loudest energy. I connect with nature in its most organic form. I connect with God, and I connect with the collective's higher self. So, today we are going to be doing a reading for Ophiuchus. If you fall under the Ophiuchus astrological sign, this reading is for you. Hello. There's something that I wanted to mention and it escaped my mind. You're my first reading for the day, so I'm still kind of getting there. I'm still getting there. I do not require using cards for personal readings. I simply like to use cards as a tool to know where to begin when there is such an unlimited amount of stream of information that's always available and always pouring down. And when I use cards for group readings or anything that has to do with the collective, it just gives me an angle on where to begin. I do not use tarot. I only use medicine cards and cards that are approved to be positive, to not carry any attachments or entities. And I sense a lot of people who are of the Ophiuchus sign have a lot of anger, outbursts, rage, heart issues that need to be looked at. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to begin with the first card, and the first card is going to be the physical work. What is the physical work that Ophiuchus needs to work on? The second card is going to be the inner work that needs to be worked on. The third card is going to be the spiritual / psychic work that is advised for your sign. A lot of you have been daydreaming and finding ways to escape and walk out of the matrix, which is great because a lot of people don't know how to take a break. They are stuck in the matrix or lost in the matrix, suffering in the matrix, and they don't know how to walk out. It's so important to be able to take breaks where you walk out of the matrix, And I see that Ophiuchus is able to do that to the point where you don't know how to get back in. I know that sounds really strange, but that's what I get. I feel like you do such a good job. Can you give me 1 second? Okay. Sorry if you hear all that noise outside. There's a lot of helicopters going on as we're speaking about this. you do such a good job getting out, stepping out, walking out of the matrix that you forget how to get back in, and you have trouble getting back in, and you get trapped on the other side, and you feel like you're losing your mind, and you're not. You're not losing your mind. You're simply aware of all the timelines. And for those of you who ask yourself, what timeline are we on? Are we in the past, present, or future? We're on all three timelines at the same time. So let's begin your reading because we're on time. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like the curse of the time. Have you seen that movie Out of Time? Out of Time, I think it's called, with Justin Timberlake. It really does feel like that. It feels like it's not money. Money is not the currency. It's time. Your time is precious. So I feel so much intensity with you. Like you're just going through so much. And you feel like what you're going through is worse than other people's suffering. You feel like your suffering or your karma, there's some aspect of your sign that you feel is heavier than other signs, especially because you're not even acknowledged. You're not even acknowledged in Western astrology. And it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. It's so trippy to look at when you look at all the history, all the lies and all the lies and all the hidden truths. And according to Western astrology, Ophiuchus is considered a new sign. Like, that's so crazy because when I scan it energetically, it's an ancient sign. It's a sign that's been there. Like, just because you just saw it doesn't mean it's new, you know? And when I see it energetically, I see it as something ancient. Like, this is a sign that was purposely ignored, purposely dismissed, purposely not acknowledged. And it just makes you think, right? Like, if this is just one sign, one thing, whatever you want to call it, that was hidden. Imagine all of the trillions of other things that are hidden from humanity. So I'm sorry that you're going through that. That must be really heavy. That must be really heavy to go through because the physical work that you need to work on is to do what motivates you, okay? Ultimately do what motivates you because there's so much that is thrown at your face. There's all these expectations of you. There's all these standards. And you have to be clever. You have to do that one thing that no one expects that you're going to do. Because then they're slapped in the face because you did something that they weren't expecting and they don't know what to do next. And that's what you want to do for your own protection. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that rumble? There are, I think, like multiple freaking helicopters going around in circles. And they're so big and they're so close. And it's super annoying. I can't stand military bases. And it's kind of like you don't want to be with them. You don't want to be with military bases, but at the same time, we need military bases for protection. So it's kind of like I unfortunately live nearby a military base, so I'm sorry for all of that noise. So there's all kinds of target. You feel targeted. You feel hovered over. And the advice here, the physical advice here, is to do what motivates you. Screw what everybody else says. Screw what people think. Screw the opposing force. Seriously. They are just one big clump of annoyances. So I really hope that you are not considering others when it comes to your physical choices. And I know that that's going to sound selfish. I know that that sounds insincere. But in this case, with this energy, you need to push that through and make sure that you are ultimately doing what motivates you. Particularly in your career and hobbies. When it comes to relationships and dating, you also want to be with a person that motivates you to be a better version of yourself. And that's how you know if you're dating the right person, because if that person is motivating you to be better, then that's the person that you want to consider. But if you're in a toxic situation where someone is constantly triggering you to be the worst version of yourself, then you're in a toxic situation. It doesn't mean that that person's a bad person. It just means that when you combine your vibrations, it becomes toxic. And you can't have this. Like, there's this sense of urgency where you can't be wasting any more time. You already wasted so much time already. And I feel like it's like it is what it is. It's not what it's not. I'm going to clear everything that is not going to serve your highest good. And it might feel uncomfortable, but I just feel like there's this it's very similar to what Taurus people have to deal with all the time. Like, maybe you might have a rising Taurus or a Taurus moon, but you have these people who claim to be your friends, and they kind of make you steer away from what motivates you on purpose because they don't want you to succeed. And you have to cut all those cords. Just cut all those cords. Just cut all those cords. Cut all those opinions. Start establishing this boundary with your friends where they have to ask you for permission before giving you their suggestion or advice. When they start rambling, oh, well, if you start doing that, it's not going to work out in your favor. And really, that might be your life purpose. That's why it's so important to ask for permission before you give people advice, because a lot of times the advice is unwanted and the person knows what they're doing. And I feel like you have these ideas, and those ideas are very good and they will get you very far. But you have this bad habit of caring what people think and caring about how it will affect them. And this is just not one of those cases. especially if you're in a situation where people depend on you and you want to consider the people that depend on you. I'm sorry, but again, this is not one of those situations to consider that, because you can better serve them. You can have more strength and stamina, wealth, abundance, stability, security if you follow your own motivation, and then you will have all this to support them. Does that make sense? If you don't do what motivates you when it comes to the physical and the career, then you're going to be depressed, you're going to be miserable, you're going to want to use low vibrational substances, and then you will be useless to all the people that depend on you if that is the case. So this is very important, okay? Because it seems like you have a lot of decision making and you're considering everything and everyone but yourself, which is nice. There's a time and place for everything, but this is not one of those times. Like, this is one of those times where you have to kind of gently push things out of your elbow space. You know, there's things all up in your elbow space, and you just have to kind of push and create these boundaries where you're able to focus and make your own decisions based on you and you alone. Inner work, the inner work for Ophiuchus. Organizing. You're having a hard time organizing. Why? Organizing. So what you have to do is, organizing is a tedious chore. We can all agree to that. So when you're feeling energized, bored, in a really good mood, you want to take opportunity. You want to take that opportunity. When you feel energized, when you feel motivated, when you feel happy, when you feel bored, put on some music and just start organizing, because everything in your household represents your psyche. What do you need to push and blow out of the wind? What do you need to push out of your life and let the wind take it away from you? What do you need to cut and push away? Because there's like this I'm trying to think of the appropriate way to say something, because I can only recall like the bad word version of it. Like, there's something in your way financially. There's something that is C-blocking your finances that needs to go. There's something that needs to go. This could doesn't necessarily have to be a person. This could be an expense that you make every month that needs, this could be a relationship. This could also be actually moving from one place to another. But for inner work, I really feel like this is a situation. It's a situation that you need to kind of gently end. There might be someone that you're leading on that you never meant to have anything serious with, that you need to kind of cut off before they get hurt more. That's only for some of you. Okay, I gotta go pick up that card. Okay, and the card that fell was the Morning Star. So your spiritual advice is to regain your hope. Okay, you need to regain your hope in something. You've become hopeless. Hopeless because perhaps you're not doing what what motivates you. Okay. Okay, so you're in some kind of situation. You're daydreaming a lot, thinking a lot. If you are a man, there is a lady that is thinking about you. And this is not the same person that you need to cut off. I feel like this is if there is someone else that you need to cut off with, this is not the same person. This is a different energy. This is someone that you can take with you to your journey. Again, these are just collective readings. They will not resonate with everyone. It's expected that some parts resonate, and whatever does not resonate, you can just leave. Thank you. Okay, changing your lifestyle, my dears, my dears, my dears. This makes me happy. It makes me so happy when I see things that match how I felt. And, you know, sometimes you can't put things into words, right? There's just certain things that you just can't put into words. And that's why I love using positive cards to just help you with those words. Changing your lifestyle, my dears, my dears. Can you see that okay? Changing your lifestyle, nurturing your body through communion with nature, and strengthen your spirit with laughter. Engage in mindful exercises, stretching your body, addressing any discomfort before it's too late, paying more attention to the ingredients that you digest, okay? And then we have not meant to be, okay? So there's a certain situation in your life that just was not meant to be because there is someone else that is better for you. And who wants to hear that? I'm sorry. But unfortunately, that's just how life works. I mean, think about it. How many times have people in general had a breakup with someone and then the years go by and we're so grateful that we broke up with that person? And at that time that we were with those people, we thought that it was going to last a long time or that that person was going to be the only person in our life, and it turned out to be toxic or unhealthy, or it turned out to be a trauma bond. Don't take it too seriously if despite your best attempts, the outcome is not what you wish. It was never yours to begin with. The world is full of new opportunities. Self-pity and diminished self-esteem will only obscure your view of what is to come. Okay? So I really feel that there's someone that you have to let go of that you don't want to let go of. And you are aware of who this other person is that would be better for you. It's just that you're not good with new energies. You're good with old and familiar energies, and that's why it's painful to cut this person off, because you're so familiar with the desire that you had for this person. It's so hard to let them go, and this newer person is so much better for you, but you just don't see it because they're brand new and you're not really good with strangers. That's the best way that I can put it. Okay, there's a couple cards that don't belong in this deck. I need to remove. Again, you're having a hard time organizing your life. You're having a hard time regaining motivation. Put on some music. Put on some jazz. Buy yourself an espresso machine, you know, like do something simple that will bring you happiness and motivation to organizing your life. Changing your lifestyle. Is there a certain substance? This one wanted to fly out. What dropping into the deep end of your soul. You need to fall and get grounded and come right back, because you are somewhere else. You're not in the present moment. You know, for some of you, there is a substance that you need to, get rid of and out of your life. Whether that's alcohol or pill popping. You can't expect a change if you don't make any changes in your life. You know what I mean? My favorite quote never fails. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. That quote, it's not very inspirational, but it never fails. And then we have breathing, working on your breathing. How do you breathe properly? You exhale into your tummy and you retain all of that life force energy in your tummy. And then when you inhale, you bring it up through your throat and up and over your head and over your crown area. And then you bring it back down and fill up your tummy. And that is how you retain life force. We have been taught to breathe incorrectly. We've been taught to exhale out into the air, wasting all of that life force instead of actually filling our own reservoir with it. By you changing your lifestyle and organizing your life, you are going to remove all the darkness, because there's this darkness that you feel, and that darkness is coming from your self-destructive behavior, and you need to clear it out with violet. The violet fire, the violet consuming flame. Clear out, change your lifestyle. That's going to clear out the negativity that you believe is going to stay. You think it's going to stay forever. By you changing your lifestyle, it's going to clear it out. And you might deal with a couple minor issues here and there, but the heaviest layer is going to be cleared out by you organizing, detoxing, and clearing your life. We have amber. And we're going to read from the book. Transparency, calm, purification, creativity. An issue that is causing tension and friction in your life will soon erupt and come to a head. You are being urged to stay calm during this emotionally charged event. Express how you feel, but don't be drawn into saying things you don't mean. This event is, in fact, a blessing, one that is perhaps well overdue. Through it, you will realize where you stand and how others truly feel. As the air clears, you will uncover a hidden agenda and find creative ways of handling this type of situation in the future. Stay calm. Don't allow yourself to be dragged further into chaos by others. Don't go back into that hole that you know comes with heavy consequences. You will emerge from this situation feeling purified of all the negative emotions and thoughts that have weighed you down recently. If you overcome the temptation, trust and remember that this event is a hidden blessing. You know, that is another thing that has always been proved. Something positive always comes out of these negative situations, and these negative situations are emotionally. You feel the suffering and the consequence emotionally. But there's always a hidden blessing. You know, it's a blessing when you don't end up with a toxic person. It really is. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's do one more for you. What colors should Ophiuchus work on during this time? Colors. Okay. Getting grounded. Just like this one. Asking you to get grounded. Nourishing your body and soul. Eating things, drinking things that are going to ultimately be nourishing. A lot of people are addicted to sugar and caffeine and coffee, and there's alternatives like chaga or reishi, different kinds of mushrooms mixed with cocoa. The colors that you need to work on are brown. Anything similar to these brown grounding colors. So please be really careful, because if you are in a difficult circumstance, okay, and you go back to your old ways, you are not going to be able to handle the pain of those consequences. If you can barely handle how you feel now, just imagine how you're going to feel if how you feel now becomes 20 times worse. Do not go back to your old ways. If you go back to your old ways, it is like surrendering, and it will end very badly. And you're going to be aware of when you're being tested. You're going to be very aware, because your heart will start racing. You'll have a hard time breathing. And you need to have your backup supplement sodas. There's supplement sodas out there that are really good for panic attacks. There's also valerian root. Give me 1 second. And we are back. So I just want to show you. This is valerian root. This is really good if you're going to have a panic attack. Depending on the time of the day is how many you will take. So if you want to go to bed, I believe you can take up to 5. They're all different. But if it's the daytime, then you can take 1 or 2. Afternoon, 1 or 2. But if you actually want to go to bed, sometimes you can take up to 5, depending on how strong they are. It will all vary per bottle. See, this one here in particular, this one you only need 1. So it really depends how strong it is. So if it's a strong kind, then you only need to take 1 before bed. But if it's the kind that is not that strong, then you can take several. It really will depend on your bottle. But these are a lifesaver. Valerian root is a lifesaver for panic attacks. There are immunity, wellness, magnesium, infused sodas, and these sodas have changed my life. I am a sugar addict, and I replaced all the sweet sodas that I used to drink with these sodas that support your digestive and immunity health. There's so many different kinds of these. There's Recess. Recess is my favorite. I don't have a can right now to show you, but Recess is my favorite kind of soda because it has adaptogens and magnesium, potassium, and B6. These are more on the probiotic side, but they have a bunch of herbs that are so good for you, especially if you have depression. The mistake that a lot of people make is that they think their depression is going to magically go away, and it's not. Your depression is not going to magically go away. You have to take supplements, and the supplements will change your life. I personally keep these. These are like my go-tos when I'm having an emergency. When my roommates are driving me crazy and I want to go to the store and buy alcohol because I'm so stressed out, I have these instead. And I buy them for those exact reasons. If I feel like I'm having a panic attack and I just want to give up on life and give up on being in a high vibration and I want to just go in the dumps, you know how that is. I have these. So these are ashwagandha liquid. This is particularly blueberry flavor, and you just mix it with some water. Actually, this one specifically you can drink without mixing water. So there's so many different types, but this one you don't have to mix with water. It's already mixed for you. And this helps reduce stress. It's clinically proven. It's organic ashwagandha with a little blueberry. And these are the kind of supplements that will make your depression go away. A lot of times people go to Western doctors and they get prescribed pharmaceuticals from the pharmaceutical industry for their depression. And if you have some kind of brain imbalance, maybe. But for most of the time, I feel like 9 out of 10 times the pharmaceutical industry is causing people to pass away sooner and does not heal them. So make sure that if you are looking for any kind of help with your mental health or your nutrition or your body, that you are searching for holistic medicine, alternative medicine, natural medicine, TCM, acupuncture, acupressure, and try to stay away from Western, because Western is poison. You know, in my opinion, Western medicine should not be called medicine. They give poison that is fatal to their customers most of the time. You know, they're really good at stitching you together, and they're really good at surgery and putting all your limbs back together if you get in a car wreck. But when it comes to actual healing of the soul, mind, body, and soul, they do not know how to do that, because Western medicine does not even acknowledge the existence of the soul to begin with. So how could they ever heal you if they can't even acknowledge the primary importance of healing, which starts in the soul? So thank you so much for watching. None of these are sponsored. This is just my own little tools that I use so that you pass those tests, because you're going to be tested. You're going to be tested many times, and it's very important for you to surpass those tests. Thank you for watching. Bye.